Yeah.
And then number 3, you mentioned that, what was number 3 again?
Keeping their money safe.
Keeping their money safe, okay.
Yeah, avoiding the market risk and so forth.
That's important as people get older too, isn't it?
Very important. Yeah, very important. The risk exposures that, unfortunately, a lot of the folks that we get in front of have just not been educated to the options that are available to protect those assets and allow them to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Without the volatility that they've been exposed to with their previous relationships, because they haven't been told there's another way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's try and address each of these now. Outliving your assets, keeping taxes low, and making sure your money is safe. So how do you help your clients and potential clients with these potential pitfalls of the 3 items we just talked about?
Well, first of all, in the outliving the assets, I think one of the tools that we employ that really helps and people appreciate is the ability to actually get down on paper with our clientele a budget. Many of the people that we visit with are getting close to retirement or they've already retired, and now they're wondering how long is my money going to last? And so we're able to help them create budgets. We use special types of programs to generate within those budgets a projected income flow. And we factor in the budget that they've given us, inflation, projected growth rates, those types of things. And we try to help them see on paper whether or not the money's going to last. And we've helped a lot of people enter retirement with a positive attitude, because a lot of them are entering with fear. And the fear is of the unknown. They don't know. And so when we're able to show them within the programming that we use, you're going to be okay, the great peace of mind that comes and the ability that they know now that they can actually live in these golden years and enjoy those golden years, instead of, as my father says sometimes, don't want those golden years full of lead, because that's exactly what he says sometimes people live like, because they don't know. So we use these tools to simply help them with budgeting and forecasting to let them know that they're going to be okay. And if they're not, if the adjustments are needed, then we show them and help them how to make those adjustments. So
excellent.
That's one tool that we employ for not outliving your money. And there's others, but
sure.
That's where we go with that. And it's a great coaching relationship, and it's just a great empowering experience.
Wonderful. Now, on the tax side, how do you help people to reduce taxes?
Well, we try to teach people how to move money what we call in the right direction. Okay, most of us have assets that are in a fully taxable position, whether it's in the banks or mutual funds or other types of positions. We get taxed on the growth on those every year, and so we teach them how to move it in the right direction, meaning if we move a little to the right, we get to what's called a tax-deferred investment portfolio. And a certain amount of assets should be there. It grows quicker. You get to take advantage of the power of compounding interest, interest on your principal, interest on your interest, and interest on the taxes that you didn't have to take out and send over to Uncle Sam. So that triple compounding is a wonderful thing. A little bit further over, we talk about tax-free options like a Roth IRA or other types of investments like this that allow you to grow your money income tax-free. And that's a big deal, especially as we're looking at increasing tax brackets in the future. And then ultimately, if you're too big and you have an estate tax exposure, then we'll coach them on how we can reduce or eliminate that estate tax exposure that they might be subject to. Well, they won't. They're gone, but their family would be left with that burden. And as I understand it, they have about 9 months to settle that bill. So but we don't want to have them exposed to that.
Yeah, so I like what you said, moving assets in the right direction.
Yeah.
Not the wrong direction.
That's right.
Wrong direction is you're losing money and it's not going to last. But the options you mentioned were tax-deferred vehicles. Triple compounding is very important to accumulate as much money as possible.
Right.
You mentioned also the Roth IRA, where your distributions are then tax-free.
Yeah.
And if you have a big enough estate, strategies that would pass on the entire estate to the family, perhaps a life insurance trust or a wealth replacement trust, something like that.
Sure, yeah, those are various tools that we can employ, and even charitable planning if needed.
Yeah. Excellent. The third item you mentioned was people are concerned about making sure their money is safe. So talk about that for a minute. Do you find that the new clients coming to you in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s are weighted too heavily with money in the market percentage-wise, or are they aligned properly? Or speak to that a little bit.
Well, and that's one of the, I guess, passions, if you will, of why we do what we do, is that we find too many times people have been left basically warehoused by their broker, having assets exposed to the market in what's been called a diversified portfolio, mixture of bonds and equities and those types of things, and yet they're fully exposed to the risk of the market. And if the market's down 20, they only lost 8, they think that's a good thing, because they haven't been told that there's places where you can put your money, have a guaranteed return on it, guaranteed safety of principal, and still have a reasonable rate of return as opposed to bank deposits. When we talk to people, we address 3 issues with money. You can have safety, liquidity, and growth. And typically you can get 2 of the 3. You can get 2 of the 3, and we instruct them on the safety and liquidity. We give up growth. And so with safety and liquidity, well, where do we go with that money? It's safe and it's liquid. Banks, typically. Those are liquid instruments. They're safe, they're liquid. What do we give up? Well, we don't get any growth on those assets. Then there's the liquidity and growth combination, but then we give up safety. Okay. Well, where are those assets? Well, that's where we find a lot of people are today, and they've been left there by their brokers with the hang in there, it will come back mentality. And that little method is broke as far as we're concerned. Those things all changed about 10 years ago. Unfortunately, the brokerage firms and the brokers are not changing. They're still preaching the same message, and that's just not the right thing to do for these folks that are at retirement or beyond. So we talk about the growth with safety combination, which is a good combination. We give up a little liquidity. Okay. Well, those are products like fixed annuities and things of this nature that allow us to have safety and some reasonable rates of growth. We give up a little bit of liquidity, but they're not illiquid, and that's important. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there about fixed annuities, and so those are the basic tools of how we help people keep their money safe.
I like those 3 ideas. People want safety, liquidity, and growth. And it's hard to find an investment or a product or a strategy that offers all 3. 2 out of 3 is not bad, but 3 out of 3 is the best.
Well, we try to optimize that and get the best third that we can.
That's wonderful, wonderful. Well, some very good information, some very good ideas, Lynn, especially for people living in the Rio Rancho area and surrounding areas as to why they might want to be working with Oxford Wealth Advisors and Lynn B. Thurgood. That's how your clients know you as Lynn B?
Lynn B, that's
Lynn
exactly
B.
right.
I like that. Matthew J., Lynn B. Huh?
We like that.
We'll look forward to our next interview also. We'll have you back on again very soon.
Thank you, Matt. Great to be here.
For more information about Lynn B. Thurgood and his financial services practice, Oxford Wealth Advisors, or the Central New Mexico Society of Financial Awareness, contact him at 505-891-9800 or visit him on the web at www.oxfordwealthnm.com.